What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and the Wolverines defensive line just got a whole lot scarier with a new commitment. We go over that, plus the Wolverines' current 2026 recruiting class, the defensive line clearly standing out for the Wolverines. We also got some new predictions going in Michigan's favor for a flip target plus a top cornerback target and a top 100 wide receiver. Also give an update on the 5-star receiver Kelvin Russell, as well as Michigan's top targets set to make their decisions towards the end of June and in early July, as there could be a lot of commitments coming soon. Also give an update on the 4-star edge Julian Walker, as Michigan really impressed him and his family, and an update on linebacker recruiting. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So Michigan's defensive line just got a whole lot scarier as the Wolverines came away with a commitment last night from the 2026 4-star defensive lineman Titan Davis. The 6'5", 270-pound defensive lineman ranked 101st nationally on 24/7 Sports composite rankings chose the Wolverines over Alabama following his official visit to Michigan this past weekend. We've already made a commitment video on the channel last night. If you guys missed it, make sure to go ahead and check that out as I go over everything you need to know about Michigan's latest commitment from the defensive lineman Titan Davis. And now you look at Michigan's defensive line class so far, and I tell you what, Lou Esposito is putting on a clinic right now. The Wolverines have now Titan Davis in the class. They also have Alistair Vallejo, a 4-star defensive lineman who could potentially be a Mason Graham 2.0 for the Wolverines. They also landed a 4-star edge, Mikhail Blade, and they still have the 3-star edge, Tariq Boney, committed in the class, who has plenty of upside in the 2026 class for the Wolverines. And they're still going after some top targets, including the 5-star edge Carter Meadows. If they can get him in the class, that would be absolutely huge. Wolverines are still going after Julian Walker, who is going to be tough to land, but we're actually going to talk about him later in the video. So right now, this defensive line class is looking scary for the Wolverines. And with Titan Davis's commitment last night, there seems to be more commits on the way. Michigan commits like Jalen Pyle and Mikhail Blade, said we're not done and more to come. So there's definitely going to be some more commits here, and Wolverines got a lot of momentum here going in their favor. Now, one guy who has gotten predictions, even more predictions now, is Markel Dabney, the 3-star athlete currently committed to SMU. He was planning on announcing his decision over the weekend. However, it seems like he has delayed it, and while the Wolverines had a lot of on-3 predictions going in their favor, they picked up 2 more predictions on 24/7 Sports, with 2 crystal ball predictions from Sam Webb in the 24/7 Sports staff projection. So I would expect Markel Dabney to eventually flip and commit to Michigan soon. And that wasn't the only crystal ball prediction that the Wolverines got going in their favor. The 2026 4-star cornerback Dorian Barney, who was set to decide on July 5th, Sam Webb of the Michigan Insider put in a crystal ball prediction for Michigan to land him, and he just took an official visit to Michigan. Penn State is the other threat here for Michigan. This has been one of Michigan's top cornerback targets in the 2026 class, comes from the state of Georgia, and it seems like the Wolverines have momentum going into his July 5th decision date. And then also Sam Webb of the Michigan Insider put in a crystal ball prediction this morning for the Wolverines to land the 2026 4-star top 100 wide receiver Zion Robinson from the state of Texas, ranked 71st nationally on 24/7 Sports rankings, a 6'3" receiver. This is one of Michigan's top wide receiver targets in the class, and it was thought to be TCU and Michigan battling it out. He did cancel his official visit to TCU though, but there's other schools like Miami, Stanford, Nebraska also in the mix. So some new predictions there going in Michigan's favor. And then we also recently talked about the 2026 5-star wide receiver Kelvin Russell, who was also set to announce his decision on July 5th. Michigan gained some positive buzz over the weekend on his official visit, and right now it appears the door is open for Michigan. Michigan is really selling the point that he can be an early impact wide receiver for the Wolverines, and they're also very competitive in the NIL arena right now with his agent, and so right now it appears he is a very real possibility for the Wolverines, and that would be just a gigantic win for the Wolverines. So now when you look at some of these decision dates for some Michigan targets here, we still have the 4-star offensive tackle Malachi Lee set to make his decision June 27th. The safety Chase Calicut set for June 27th as well. Same with the wide receiver Jerquaden Guilford on June 27th, although he's been trending to Ohio State recently. Andre Clark is set for June 30th, which the Wolverines currently lead in that recruitment. Also, the 4-star safety Donovan Webb set to announce July 2nd. Got the wide receiver Travis Johnson set on July 4th, as Michigan still leads in that recruitment. And then July 5th could be a big day for Michigan football recruiting. They got the 5-star wide receiver Calvin Russell set to make his decision. And then they also have the 4-star cornerback Dorian Barney set to make his decision on July 5th. Now, the 4-star safety Jordan Deck was also supposed to make his decision, but he has committed to Baylor. Jordan Deck did come from the state of Texas. Baylor was his home state school of choice and did just recently take an official visit there. So, but still a big day, July 5th, with Calvin Russell and Dorian Barney set to make their decisions. So if you thought Michigan football recruiting is heating up right now, just wait for these other commitments and decision dates to come about. There is a ton of targets set to decide here, but I did want to talk about Julian Walker, the 2026 4-star edge from the state of South Carolina. Michigan gave him and his family a lot to think about over the weekend on his official visit, as both him and his father Jamil Walker were on campus for his official visit, and his father has been a strength and conditioning coach with South Carolina for 2 years. And according to Ethan McDowell of On3 in the Wolverine, he said it's just a beyond unique situation. He said, as a parent, I've been blown away, and the coaching side of me has been blown away, seeing it from places I've been in my life. And the father in me is like, how in the world as a father do you not see yourself in a place like this that's so in depth with getting these guys prepared for life and putting a standard up? He said their standard is out of this world. You're really at a loss for words. He said they blew my mind the first time with their detail, their in-depth approach to building these kids up for life in the process of getting there. And he said, I won't give too much of their secrets, but I've been in this business almost 20 to 22 years playing and coaching, and I hadn't really seen anything like that, so I was really in awe. And he said he told Coach Sharon Moore, I have over and over tried to find excuses to say no, that this isn't the place, but you guys just continue to wow me, and you've got to call a spade a spade. I was raised to be honest in this business, and they got something special going on over there. So Michigan is definitely in the mix for Julian Walker. It is going to be very tough to land him, though, since you got the hometown school, South Carolina, where his dad is also the strength and conditioning coach. But if anything, that tells you, it just goes to show how special Michigan is, especially for defensive linemen right now. They got things rolling. Lou Esposito has just been putting up a clinic recently, and there's still more to come. There's still more work to do. I also wanted to give an update on linebacker recruiting, because Brian Jean-Mary right now is currently in a tough spot, as Shadarius Tootle flipped his commitment from Auburn to Georgia. Top 100 linebacker Braden Rouse returned to Tennessee, as they appear to have the edge currently in that recruitment. Michigan was expected to land Markel Dabney over the weekend. He has delayed his decision. Hopefully they can still land him. It seems like they will still be able to. Michigan is still going after 4-star linebackers Anthony Davis and DQ Forkpa, which, if they turn up the heat, potentially could get, into the top group for them. They are a top school still. And right now, Nick Abrams, who is thought to be one of Michigan's top major priorities, basically said that they are currently 4th in his recruitment, as he'll be announcing his decision July 16th between Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, and Oregon. So they got a lot of work to do in that recruitment. There is still the 4-star linebacker Kenneth Goodwin, which Michigan at the top of the list for him, but Michigan has been, on and off with him. And then they also did recently offer the 2026 3-star Liberty commit in linebacker Caden Catchings. So that's where they stand currently with linebacker recruiting. Just wanted to give an update right there. But with that, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I greatly appreciate it. And we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.